All right, let's dive into a really fascinating idea today, a framework called the virtue compass, which is all about finding our moral bearings in this wild, modern world.
I mean, you've probably felt it, right? Trying to figure out the right thing to do can feel like you're using an old magnetic compass next to a giant electromagnetic. The needle just spins, and finding true north feels almost impossible.
And it's no wonder. Just think about it. Our classic ideas about virtue, the ones from ancient philosophers, were developed long before artificial intelligence, before social media echo chambers, before a global climate crisis. They're still incredibly valuable for sure, but they don't always give us the specific map we need for the challenges we're facing right now.
So, if we're going to build a new guide, we have to start with the fundamental building blocks. And this whole framework is built on something called the meta-archetype. It sounds complicated, but it's not. These are just those deep, recurring patterns of goodness that pop up everywhere, across all of human history. Things like courage, or wisdom, or justice. They're like the universal DNA of morality. And that is the big idea here. What if we could take those timeless, universal virtues and map them onto a brand new kind of compass? One that's designed to help us navigate not just the world we've always known, but the strange and complex one that we are creating at this very moment.
So what does this compass actually look like? Well, the key is that it doesn't just throw out all that ancient wisdom. No way. It integrates it. The compass maps out 13 core virtues, and each one is a blend of its classical form and a new, emergent one that's relevant today. Okay, let's take a look. Take integrity. We all have a pretty good sense of what honesty and authenticity mean, right? But what does integrity mean when we're talking about a social media algorithm or a massive data set? Well, this compass points us to these new forms, like algorithmic honesty or data integrity. It's the exact same core virtue, just leveled up for the 21st century. Or look at courage. Bravery on a battlefield is one thing we understand, but what about the courage it takes to be a whistleblower, knowing you might face a tidal wave of online hate? Or just having the digital resilience to stand your ground online? These are the new arenas where courage is tested every single day.
And this is where it gets really mind-bending. The compass pushes us to expand a virtue like compassion. It's not just about being kind to other people anymore. It's suggesting we need a kind of radical empathy, one that extends to other species, to entire ecosystems, and get this, maybe even to artificial intelligence one day.
And of course, the compass is incredibly comprehensive. It maps out all these other crucial virtues you see here, like wisdom, justice, and solidarity. And each one has that same structure, its classical roots and its new emergent branches. It really creates a full spectrum for moral guidance.
Okay, but here's the part where this compass goes from being just interesting to being absolutely essential. It doesn't just show you where to go, it warns you about the dangers along the way. Because every single one of these virtues has a shadow side, a way it can be twisted and distorted into a vice.
And this quote just nails it. A guide that only points towards sunshine and rainbows isn't very useful in the real world, is it? A real tool has to show you the cliffs and the pitfalls. It has to warn you how your best intentions can go horribly wrong. Every virtue, when you push it too far or use it in the wrong way, casts a dark shadow. Let's look at an example. The pursuit of justice is, of course, a noble thing. But when that pursuit gets poisoned by ego or rage, it can curdle into simple vindictiveness. And that's when you get things like enforcement theater, where the punishment is more about the performance of being tough than about actual fairness. That's not justice. That is the shadow of justice.
And even a virtue as seemingly pure as compassion has a really dangerous dark side. Think about pathological altruism. That's where you enable someone's self-destructive behavior out of a misguided sense of kindness. Or saviorism, where helping other people becomes more about making you feel good than about what they actually need.
Now this one is a huge danger in our modern world. The virtue of solidarity, that feeling of belonging and unity is absolutely essential for us as humans. But its shadow is tribalism, it's echo chambers, it's mob justice. It's when that beautiful feeling of us turns toxic and becomes all about punishing them. So, the compass gives us this amazing diagnostic tool. We can look at a situation and ask, is this virtue being pushed into excess, like dogmatism, or is there a deficiency, like cynicism? Or, and this is a big one, is it just a counterfeit? Is it something like virtue signaling that just looks like the real thing but is all for show? So the framework itself is incredibly powerful, but theory is one thing. How do we actually use it? Well, let's look at the user's guide, how to turn this abstract map into a real, practical tool for making better choices.
This is basically a pre-flight checklist for moral decisions. It gives you 6 simple questions to ask before you act, and it forces you to think about things we usually ignore, like proportionality, context, and my personal favorite, externalities. Asking, who pays the hidden costs, can change everything. It's a way to see beyond our good intentions and look at the real-world impact.
And you can see the potential uses here are huge. It's a philosophical map, it's an educational tool, it's even a strategic guide for massive fields like AI ethics. But for me, the most mind-blowing use is that last one, the speculative one.
Because this compass isn't just a map of the world we already know, it's a tool for exploring the vast, uncharted territory of our moral future.
And that, right there, is the biggest takeaway. The true power of this compass isn't just in pointing you to things you already recognize. It's in showing you the blank spaces on the map, the areas where we're going to need to evolve entirely new moral skills.
I mean, just listen to some of these potential future virtues. Quantum poise, the ability to act with clarity when you have no idea what's going to happen. Or plural loyalty, the skill of being true to multiple communities at once without betraying any of them. Wow. We barely have words for these things yet, but you can feel how much we're going to need them.
And this is the fundamental question the compass forces us to ask ourselves. The challenges we face are new, they're global, and they're all tangled together. The moral skills that got us to this point might not be the ones that will get us through the next chapter of human history.
And that's really the perfect way to see it. The Virtue Compass isn't some dusty old book of rules. It's a living, breathing tool that's meant to grow and evolve right along with us as we try to build the future together. So I'll just leave you with this one last thought to chew on. Maybe the most important points on our future moral compass are the ones that are still totally blank. What are the virtues we will desperately need that we don't even have the words for yet? That's the real adventure this compass invites us to begin.